as they would like, to be honest with you. So, again, it's all very, very much guesswork into this one. How are they going to fare with the stand-ins? Can the Huns have those same kind of individual performances? These are all questions I think that will get answered in time. We're actually kicking things off with a little bit of a knife round here to just get full traction. And I think it is actually pretty important, the knife round on Anubis. That T-sided start can give you an awful lot of momentum, again, particularly in a region like this where the T-sides tend to move a little faster.
Yeah, that's something we always talk about with the CT side on this map as well, right? I mean, you need lots of aggression. Like if you play static on CT on Anubis, you will lose. It's pretty simple. So yeah, I have to see how it goes in this one. Rare Atom will get the start on their T side. Zed, the coach, Salmon, the stand-in. Let's see if the Huns can do the double over them on this map and today. With both the BO1s, they beat them on Anubis in that Mongolian land toward the end of last year, which was a very impressive performance from them to take one map on LAN. You'd expect maybe Rare Atom on LAN to look a little bit cleaner, but they did play with their coach that day as well. Maybe that was a contributing factor. Today it's a coach and a stand-in, so probably why that map of Inferno went the way it did. Let's see if there's any difference coming in here. Bartak, of course, Zinio's older brother. One of the most known names. Both of them now are some of the most known names in Mongolian and Asian Counter-Strike. Zinio is a very well-known name in World Counter-Strike. It's crazy how far those lads have come, and that's what some of these other Mongolian players and other players from this region are looking to do in their futures.
Okay, so as we get into things here, it is full sets of armor for both sides, in fact. No utility at all, which does leave a few question marks. The Huns looking to make those aggressive moves that you were talking about here on the CT side, both through A main and through Dark there. Zerolt will stick around and find the head of the first. Oh, and that is quick from Bartak. He wants a few more for his trouble as well. He's going to get them. Can he make this 3? Is the big question, of course. The round itself looks like it has been firmly put in the bag here. Salmon and Kaze left to try and do what they can. Salmon quite deep in towards A. Nothing comes out for him. Kaze's position vaguely known, now fully known, and it's a drive-by from 9 to see it off. A flawless pistol to kick off Anubis for the Huns.
Yeah, very comfortable in the end. Not a single frag found by Rare Atom. To go for with a couple of deagles, so I'll be a little bit disadvantaged on the first gunman. Probably a couple of Galils rather than all AKs across the board. And once again, talking about that aggression, they know that's going to probably be a relatively comfortable round when it comes to having the weaponry advantage, so they try and go and assert that dominance right now. Nice shot.
Driving forwards to finish the round here. We will have it slightly robbed away, but again, looking pretty comfortable. No sweat off the brow thus far for the Huns side. Rare Atom going to have to give us something moving into this first rifle. They've opted, to go for the early AKs, as is very much on trend at the moment. But they lack a bit of utility, so might have been nice to see a MAC-10 here for a full belt of nades. Maybe even a Galil could have facilitated that, but they've gone 5 AKs again, looking to fight as much as they possibly can, it feels like.
Zed in tasked with playing that default position on rugs with the teammate supporting Canal, and well, Veckel wants to go have a quick look out there and get taken down immediately. And yeah, you brought it up, and we mentioned it. I thought they'd actually go down to Galils, but they're actually going to all AKs across the board. Very limited utility because of that. Sure, they've got a pick early game, but it's been responded nicely by 9, so they're going to have to just try and entry their way in, and so much damage is being taken while trying to go for that. It's a very awkward opening fight. Someone tries to push forward as well on a timing, thinking maybe they'll be distracted elsewhere, but no, Zeralt finds it. The lack of util is proving to make this round very difficult indeed.
Yeah, a lot of brute force here from Rare Atom thus far. Not as much depth to the game as perhaps they need. The Huns looking more and more comfortable as it goes on. We'll see. Salmon, new kid on the block. He has been heard here. So Cobra is ready for one at the very least. An off angle works nicely. And Child King with 17 HP. A wing and a prayer for this. We'll see. He's got that bomb in tow. He's got a smoke. He might just be able to get the money bagged in. He's actually looking to take an early fight. Nothing comes. Smoke goes down. Plant will be secured, but this obviously just gives his position away, which was kind of the one thing he was working with. The element of surprise in behind the pillar here. Nasty little angle. Nobody going to come towards him from that position, though. And it's an easy finish, of course, in the end. I think they'll still take the bomb plant, given the way that the round panned out. It allows them some options into the next.
Yep, that was handy indeed. That could make a big difference, actually. When they had absolutely nothing going into that situation. Probably the maximum he could have hoped for. And when as soon as he got the bomb planted, just 2 incendiaries either side of him, he was actually lucky to hop away in the time that he did. But easy clear up for the Huns once again. Whoopsie. We don't like to see that. Zeralt now has to play around with 39 HP from the beginning. And Bartek has to play from 0.
Happens to the best of us, as they say. But, yeah, it's going to make a difference now, of course, as you say, with that early frag coming in. Oh, Cobra pushing forwards. Dangerous game. Flash is in. The timing is pretty perfect on it, but I think they were just a bit too ready round that corner. Child King's going to find the double entry here. Zeralt trades back, but he's smoked off, of course. Can they really go in for this? Zeralt not feeling super confident. The money is there. But this is one of those where it feels a bit futile. You maybe just move for the save, right? See if anything comes your way, potentially. But surely not going to be able to get this done. Would be a hell of a thing if they do. Flash over the top. Doesn't reveal anybody. And yeah, I think that's going to sell it. That it's just time to back off and concede the round. So Rare Atom. I mean, look, Zeralt got knifed in the back. It doesn't really make much of a difference. He got a kill. It doesn't affect his game. He doesn't go down. He doesn't take any further damage. So I think Rare Atom have won the round regardless of that slim advantage that they had, unbeknownst to them.
Yeah, they wouldn't have known about that, that's for sure. Zeralt was full HP. I do wonder if he wanted to actually go in for that. Because he had the... I think that nade, he was looking to get a kill with it. If he threw it main rather than the sort of jail cubby there, might have taken Salmon down, and they may have said go when they had a defuse kit in play. But yeah, I think the decision was made up for them in the end. Save is good because it means they can afford everything in the following round, including all the full utility belts. Rare Atom get a really important handlehold in the game. Early game, though. They were nowhere on Inferno. Getting used to playing with their coach in the stand-in. See how much that first map has helped them.
A few flashes ringing out here. But it is more about the slow build-up play from Rare Atom. They've managed, to squeeze in towards middle. The Huns taking their eyes off of it has really cost them. A lot of control lost. 2 frags now lost as well. That's got to be an immediate save. And, it's one thing to leave mid open. It's another to be like, hopefully they don't notice, we'll just forget about it. And you get completely blindsided. So very well played and found by Rare Atom there.
Trying to find a bit of a grip of this game now. Starting to get their individuals into play. We mentioned Child King. He was our player to watch at the beginning of the game. Hasn't really had much chance to do much, but this game now, a double entry in the previous round, has had a double entry in this one. They're down now. They look to try and hunt these guns, but I don't even mind going for this choice because they've got a little bit of residual cash to make this worth it. There's another nice headshot from Summer. Means that only Zeralt remains. He's trying his best to stay alive, but he just can't. The coach, Z8Z, manages to get that trade in the end, and that means only he survives, but nobody on the Huns does, which means they are pretty much full eco.
Yeah, looking good here for Rare Atom. Presenting a little bit more in this game, which is good. You know, they very, very quickly had a big hill to climb on that first map, and I think, you know, you look at that, the state of the team, and it's a difficult thing to get your head around. But if you're able to just keep it going, keep it competitive, we've got Child King especially, who was our sort of highlight player coming into this. And he's looking very, very good on these entry points. It was more of a B stack here for the Huns, and unfortunately they went A, so it's another round that the Huns just don't get a look in at.
I was giving it a bit of a deeper look, of course, considering the situation that Rare Atom find themselves in, right? Z8Z has been around the scene for a very long time. Of course, he's 35 now, and yeah, that's definitely why he's transitioned into the coach role. He played on a team that I think was maybe the precursor to Wings Up back in 2017. He was running a couple of teams in the sort of the Asian scene, that sort of era of Counter-Strike 16, 17. But when it comes to coaching, was when he transitioned to that, he was on some very, very well-known teams, of course. Flash Gaming, they made a major, that blue sort of tiger logo. Vici Gaming for a little while as well, when they were called VG. That was a team that I think had Flash Gaming as a sponsor for a while. Sort of teamed up, merged orgs, and then moved over to Rare Atom early last year. That was his foray back into coaching after being sort of away from the scene for a couple of years. And yeah, I'm sure it's a surprise to him that he's having to play in a couple of these ones, that's for sure. But he's down in this round. 9 good opening.
Ooh. Trying again for the mid control here. This time it has been watched for, not quite as successful maybe. Nice play around the smoke though. Child King knows there's another one here. That's not an AWP. So he is searching. He is looking. This is a weird game state right now. Cobra finds 1, nearly 2 on the B bomb site. Felt like Veckel was maybe in position to deal with Child King, but then they've ditched on the idea, and the bomb decides to try and join his teammate over on A, but 9 is too smart for that. 50 seconds remain here. Child King, great impact from him thus far, not only in this round, but in this game. He's looking now to keep it up. Clean headshot onto the AWP. It's all down to Veckel to save the day here. Child King trained in on the wrong angle, but spots out the player, gets his hands on the bomb, and he is high-tailing it out of there. Not interested in a fight. He wants this plant. He wants to reset the game.
A lot of impact here for Child King in the last 2 or 3 rounds. Up his tally to 9, and he could be about to make it double digits with a 1 versus 1 here up against Veckel. He's got utility, but he's lacking a kit. He's making a lot of noise, and that makes it ever so easy for Child King. He's on the server, and Rare Atom are now firing.
That is a rough one, man. That is a rough one for sure. The Huns now getting a taste of their own medicine. Rare Atom, of course, had a few difficult rounds at the start of Inferno, and now it is the Huns that are having a few difficult ones here. Felt like such a good game state, man. You drop that bomb in the middle of nowhere. Like, yeah, just felt like it was done,
Yeah.
but they fumble it. They fumble it big style. Maybe just not quite knowing what to do or how to communicate that cleanly. Bartak has flown down in towards water here. Oh, the Julie's will let him down, however. Feels like he should have had 1 at least from there. The damage done here is absolutely massive across the board, but the kills have been going the way of Rare Atom, so should be able to solidify yet another round. Looking good. Cobra against the world.
That's pretty frustrating there for the Huns, actually, because, like, that strat they just put into play with the pistols to go super aggressive, if they had rifles and made that strat and called it, they would have probably had, like, a 5v3 very quickly, right? It's just the weaponry that let them down, really. Sure, there are some whiffs with the dualies. It could have gone the other way, but it's a guarantee with the M4 when you've got a back turned like that. And, yeah, maybe they'll think to themselves, okay, maybe later on in the half, once they've forgotten about that play, we'll try it again, because that seemed to work out quite well for them. Zwart was also unfortunate when he came into that position and judged the swing nicely, and then finally made his way forward, but was caught mid-jump up onto the little bridge on the canal. So it works out for Rare Atom, but it, you know, maybe wasn't as comfortable as it may have looked. But now the next gun round coming in for the Huns. A1Ss across the board, no AWP on 9. Rare Atom have now built into the game and have built up some money as well, especially on Child King and Z8Z.
Yeah, this is kind of what we were soft predicting. You know, is there going to be a turnaround from Rare Atom? They're certainly capable of it on the back of Child King at the moment. But it is that stronger T side. Cobra's just gathered a lot of information here as they move in. Decent damage, decent finds. The roll just now needs to stay alive. Takes the fight very, very well there. So a solid advantage. Yes, the bomb is going to go down, but this looks like a really, really good spot for the Huns to be in, fully surrounding this B-bomb site and just looking to get it cleanly. Zeralt playing patiently. They know where he is, and he is also aware of that fact. He's played it brilliantly from down there. You know, that's 2 kills that it feels like maybe he shouldn't have had all that easily. They felt like good trade opportunities, but just playing in and around the dark angle very, very cleanly. We have the Huns back on the board, and, you know, Rare Atom have been playing well here, Trav, but that doesn't give them a massive lead, so this could flip quite fast.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, as I said, last time they played this map was on LAN. It was only with the coach, not 2 stand-ins, and the Huns beat them. And 4 on CT is certainly not bad, and they can make it a lot more still in the last few rounds of the half. Good little retake there in the end, making sure they didn't lose many members in that retake. Zeralt standing tall in that B-box position. Flashing toward mid. Moving the players off that angle. Bartak will go down to Kaze though, and that's the Kaze up getting into the server too. Shalkin going super aggressive. That flash has half blinded him when he was making his way through. Pre-aims the little pillar, no one there. And now Kaze's down thanks to the flash swing from 9, but he can't double up.
Yeah, this is a difficult one now for the Huns to deal with, of course. Both players completely split. Super early fights going down. The Huns trying to fight back pretty heavily. Somewhere on the crack angle. Spots the info at the very least. Beckel trying to get himself into a good position here. Could have good timing on this. No! Check in the corner a little too well almost. He does come away with one, but just spam down easily on the low HP. Cobra on the rotation. Again, not bad timing. It's just so many numbers to take down. Does he really want to stick around for this? He's got a fair bit of cash. I think after eating the nade, he's going to say no. They could actually cobble together a buy in the next with his drop, so Rare Atom take the round, but the Huns lick their wounds and look to fight another day.
Yeah, that was simple, but it was pretty effective. It went a bit faster as well, that Rare Atom on that round when it came to their other gun rounds. Happy to put numbers sort of together across the map, spread out. The way they sort of bounced off each other's flashes, opponents and their own in mid. Got Kaze and entry, did get taken down, but 9 not being able to double up made the difference. It would have made it a 3v3, would have had a chance to fall back.
All right. Let's see. I think, you know, if you're getting 5 for me on the CT side, you can kind of be satisfied with that. If they can keep it even at 6, then I think we really do have a game here. But Rare Atom looking to move ahead to the 8-4 scoreline, I think could be very, very difficult to get a handle on. Again, the Huns looking for aggression. Didn't quite work for them in the previous round, so maybe a few changes to the methodology here can make a difference. The flanks covered out this time around as well. Kaze does take one pushing A. So there are a few question marks around the Huns that it's like, you know, maybe pick one area of the map to focus your attention, not pushing everywhere all at once. It can work from time to time, however.
Oh, 9 has crept through. That's something that Charlie was not expecting. That's a lovely little play to make. That's an AK upgrade as well. Just leaves Kaze and Z8Z together. Coach and Orpa. They can entry the A site player, Bartak, or at least trade their way in. Maybe Kaze gets a chance to trade it. We'll set him up in a 1 versus 3, and you never know from there. It is Kaze after all. That's a good angle taken up, though. Bartak has got too much experience to let any madness go down here. Z8Z will go down. There's already a flank in play. 9 deals with Kaze comfortably. 4 players alive for the Huns, and it means they've got everything they want in this final round of the half and a chance to even it up. And that would be pretty solid on CT Anubis for sure.
All right, let's see. I think I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Huns. You know, as I said, the aggression has been temperamental, but they're sort of sticking with it. They have a few solid ideas, you know, that I think that they're not afraid to continue pushing. Ooh, Child King mollied out, a little awkward, but he does make it down just as the smoke blooms there. What are we doing on this CT side? Again, just trying to keep their presence. It's middle this time around that they're feeling a bit more confident with.
Bit of chip damage across the board. The molly seen by Kaze means that he'll realise that he doesn't need to hold that for much longer because they probably won't be peeking that, but that's a great entry from Z8Z. Oh my word! The second is disgusting. 9, probably the star of the series, has been destroyed by Rare Atom's coach. 4 versus 3. Salmon's still lurking in mid and gets the perfect timing on Cobra's rotation. He was giving that a glance, but looks away at the last second. Now Bartak needs to probably do it all. He knows where 2 players reside, but how is he going to be able to deal with them? The answer is he can't. As Zeralt gets taken down as well, and Rare Atom recover this one slightly. They're showing a little bit more form now. They'll edge the first half 7-5.
Just shake the ground. Oh, this lightness, it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. How let the future escape. Back to you.
Welcome back in here. We are moving into the second half shortly. I think things are kind of heating up quite a lot for me. This has panned out to be a pretty interesting game. We'd maybe not completely written off Rare Atom, but the Huns obviously look very, very good on map 1. Rare Atom nowhere near full strength. So we were expecting the Huns to maybe be in control. Now, what I will say, they are, I think, moving on to their more preferred side, of course.
Yes.
So could make a big difference here, especially if they pick up the pistol.
Again, it's a pretty similar setup to the couple of other pistol rounds we've seen in this series. Not much utility in play. None for the Huns. Just the dualies being committed to on Rare Atom. Being dropped over by Salmon. Oh, actually been given a lot of space in mid as well. Rare Atom are happy to let them have it. Charlton is flanking, so maybe that's why. It could be, you know, maybe even 2-3 kills in the back here if they don't check this flank. It is actually looked at pretty sharpishly there by Bartek. That's quite well aware of that situation. The fact they're sort of shifting forward across the map, sure, they might think to themselves, oh, okay, we've got quite a lot of control here, but they've just shifted into the crosshairs of some of their opponents, I'm afraid.
Oh, Summer goes unchecked. There's only come away with the one. Maybe felt like there was an opportunity for a bit more, and you see what happens. Leave the wrong people alive, and they can turn the round upside down. Z8Z and Salmon, the only ones that remain. Salmon finds a clean one there to leave it just down to Cobra on this Hun side of things. Already done a great job of recovering things back. Or for a second there, you thought, maybe, just maybe. You see those Julies spamming away, not really landing very much. It just takes one headshot to turn things around, but not going to happen. And just in the end, it will be Rare Atom taking it. Felt like it was going to be a lot more dominant than that, so credit to the Huns, but they couldn't quite get it over the line.
I mean, last time we saw Salmon and Z8Z in a 2vx, that didn't go too well, did it, on Inferno? So I'm glad this one has recovered their confidence. What was that? The expected outcome this time. Oh, they can work out a bit of a lead, perhaps, if they can avoid this force buy. Of course, they did get force bought on in the previous map. They're opening BO1 on Inferno. There was that push top mid that just destroyed them. And with that plant, of course, there's a good chance this is going to be pretty scary with these tech lines up close. Got decent util as well. They're already sort of getting themselves ready in that E-box area. They're going to rush their way in now. There will be a very quick flanking play. Charking once again is sort of exploring all over the map, and Kaze, he has to stay alive, but he can't for much longer. Now it does rest on Child King. I mentioned it earlier. And now he's going to be in play. Are they ready for this so quickly? They are not. That is one freebie. It's back into a 2v2, but now it's all has to be Child King. And he has not got a kit picked up as well. I think there's might be one littered around the site, but it's Cobra and Vekel, and they're doing a great job of staying alive right now. There's the information on the first. He tries to dive somewhere near the bomb, but without that kit, going for a 10-second stick when there are two players there. Nades available as well to blow it open. It ain't going to happen. It's another force buy, mate.
Yeah, somewhat of a mess in that sense. It most certainly feels like here. Rare Atom have been struggling against the force buys throughout this series, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it's going to come back to bite them. A pretty bad time, you know. They wanted, I think, to get a solid buffer there, get you 9, maybe even 10 rounds, and then you can really start to think about the late stage of the game, of your game, and how you're going to close things out. But now it has really changed the directive here. I think it's going to be quite that simple, but maybe, just maybe, they can win a force buy of their own. Starts off pretty damn well there for Child King.
It does, yeah, actually connecting with that spam in the end. Kaze's got a Nova, by the way, of all things. Don't get near that. That could give you a nasty surprise. The Huns know this is the round, right? They know this is the round that will get them back even and give them a big economic advantage.
Oh, Zerol, got to be careful with this move, man. They're after him. They are after him, and they're pretty confident with it. Z8Z on the fade away, 5-7. Really makes the numbers look good here. That is a clean find. However, Salmon just sticks out a bit too wide. Coach Z8Z on this AK. Gonna have to really take matters into his own hands. He's denied at the very first hurdle. We got the candy apple Nova. Not sure what he's going to be able to get done with this, unfortunately.
Oh. Hang on.
Wait a minute.
Just pull out the Nova and just quick scope this guy on the left. Go on. Go on. You did it. No, he's not doing it. I'm sad. I wanted to see it. 1 kill would be nice here. This money for cards actually with the Nova is actually pretty tasty. He's trying to keep them around the bomb as well, but not long enough. They shouldn't explode and shouldn't take them down. Yep, just in time. So, all the damage they managed to do was okay, but the Huns get away with it, and now they know they've got the full eco to face. So, they're going to be back even at the click of a finger.
Okay, let's see. This is a very, very curious kind of look. I think Rare Atom may well start to worry a little bit. They've got to get this next round on the board. They've got to get themselves to the double digits, I think, before the Huns... Well, this one starts to unravel. You know, CT side is maybe proving to be a bit more difficult, right? When you have this lack of... basic team play. There are often unspoken things, you know, when you're on the CT side. It's like, okay, guy dies here, I back up, or maybe we opt to play aggressive, or I should rotate. You know, a lot of players do things independently on the CT side based on how the rules have been laid out before getting into the game. But when you've got a couple players that are not quite familiar with the systems, it can be harder to do things as fluidly.
Yeah.
From Kaze, but the round looking good for the Huns right here.
So hard to be cohesive and synergize in this sort of situation. Exactly. You know, the coach being in play, like, sure, it's definitely a disadvantage. He hasn't played terribly. I can't blame him, but it's like sometimes that can be okay because he knows the system. He's part of the whole conversation, isn't he? But when it's a coach understanding, that's a little bit different. Need at the beginning of that round from the Huns. I think it did like 90 damage to Summer and Child King, so that full eco is never going to have much legs to it when it comes to damage, only to themselves. And now the money is good enough for the Huns to get 9 out on the T-side up. So far, the entire series has been pretty insane.
Here we go then. Big round for both sides, of course. Summer to open things up. An aggressive move from Rare Atom to kick off their mini comeback campaign here. Zeralt looking to get the trade, and Summer got to be careful that he's not biting off a bit too much here. Timing going to be everything. He was set up, but Zeralt's just way too quick. Very big find. Leaves the B site kind of vulnerable here as well, so Rare Atom going to have to respond wisely and figure this one out.
I'm pretty sure on that jiggle as well, you saw the second player around jail, so he knows there's at least one, and you'd expect two now you've lost an opening pick on that side of the map. You'd expect a sort of a 2-2, 3-1 split at this point. And you've lost numbers in an important anchor role. This is the only choice they've got left now, and Kaze does well. That's Cobra on the ground. Restores the advantage. 45 seconds left in this one. The bomb will now be re-picked back up on the back of 9. And they have to make a decision because it's going to be hard to work their way through. Despite the fact they've got full utility, that's one of the main things that could give them a sniff.
Here we go. Salmon with the early flash just to keep them at bay. Molotov is decent, but Salmon's still able to hold this insurmountable position. I think he just proves to be the real problem. 9 looking to take them all down. We know him to be quick. They're lined up on top of each other. He's brought it down to the 1 versus 1. There's not a lot of time to work with, and it will be capitalized on by Child King. Knows that he's going to be panicked, you know, head on a swivel, looking everywhere for that final frag. It's a fair attempt from 9, but not the win that they so desperately desired.
Honestly, for 9, if you're going to lose the round, kind of some of the conversations we had earlier on Inferno, that's the best case scenario. They can still buy, sure, without the AWP, but Rare Atom only surviving with 1 player alive when it looked like at one point, right, with 10 seconds to go in the round, it could have been 4 players alive. That's a huge difference in just a few seconds. Being a bit overzealous there, trying to take 9's AWP out of his hands. Charlie only just getting the round, and he's not got the opening kill in this one, so now we've got issues for Rare Atom. Kaze is repositioned, but he knows it's a very common spot that he's in, and it's going to be hard to get out of there now.
Zeroltz has managed to keep things in the 3 versus 3 despite the kills rolling back in for Rare Atom. Another big round on our hands, and you can certainly feel it, you know, with just how stepped up everybody is finding their fights. What is the plan here for the Huns? Rotating back around to give B a go. They've got a slight bit of mid control that they could really work with here if they're able to capitalize. Meanwhile, in towards Dark, Salmon goes hunting, and he starts to think maybe we're looking at more of an A play. He's kind of abandoned the B side of things, actually. 40 seconds left. Summer on the off angle. Going to have to, you know, probably find at least 1, of course, but probably 2 from here. Timing has been missed. Salmon slipped the net ever so slightly. He's going to start to figure out that actually there's nobody around towards this A side of things. There's the 1. Oh, the flank from behind is messy. That should have been an easy kill for 9, and he knows it. A little bit of frustration there after he confirms it. Leaves him in a 1 versus 2. Absolutely should have been a 2 versus 2 from here. We'll see what he can do. He nearly clutched up in the previous. That was with the AWP. That was with a bit more HP. Not going to happen for him here, unfortunately, and Rare Atom get another retake going their way.
Oh, yeah, they're getting it by the fingernails, but they're keeping themselves in a conversation to at least tie this back-to-back best-of-1s, 1 apiece. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, 9 has been unbelievable this entire game, right? Not just with the AWP, but with the rifle too. He's been super clean, and that's probably why he's uber frustrated, knowing that he can be a better in that scenario and how much it changes the round. You're absolutely spot on. It would have been a 2v2. It would have been a decent afterplan. And it's also the fact that once he finally confirms the kill, he got spun upon and got dinked, right? If he was 100 HP in that clutch, he absolutely takes down Kaze. Maybe Kaze would have played it slightly differently. He went in with a pistol, as we saw, probably after realizing his teammate told him that he was dinked. But still, would have been much more winnable for 9. In this case, not the case. So, all right. Up 10-8 against pistols. Surely they can't lose to more pistols.
ZAZ, only 1. Is it enough? Is it enough? Bomb's going to get planted. A recovery of the rifle. Couple rifles now to work with, in fact. Oh, God, it's happening again. Down to just Child King before I can even get the words out. He's got to get through 3. The information now fully gathered, but he's just mowed down, and it's another force buy loss for the Rare Atom boys. Could have been their game by now if not for these losses against these low buys, but that is the way it goes, of course, and the Huns keeping themselves in the game.
Well, we know what Rare Atom's Achilles heel has been in this game, don't we? These fast pistol rounds. I mean, to be fair, I can't even blame Z8Z in that scenario, right? Like, he's in a tough position and he managed to get a 1-for-1, which is not easy. 9 being super aggressive with that molly in toward the E-box area. We'll push into it to try and get some information. Bit of a reload that's sort of come in there by accident, but there are no issues here. They've tied it back up at 10 apiece. And that was the force buy from Rare Atom. They couldn't get a single kill. Suddenly, in the blink of an eye, the game is totally turned.
Man, yeah, that is kind of insane. And those are the rounds as well, you know, when the pressure is on and when the stakes are a lot higher because you're at the end of the game. Losing a force buy like that is hard to keep everyone in high spirits and whatnot. You know, the situation's already a little bit messed up. And it's not even that I think people will be like arguing and shouting and stuff, which is maybe what, you know, people out there in the chat. So, but people just, you know, turtle inwards, maybe not as vocal, maybe don't express their feelings as much because they don't really know how it's going to go down, how people will react because you don't play with them as much. So yeah, really going to make a difference. We're on the low buy, very, very low buy for Rare Atom as they've got no armor to speak of. So the Huns, if they play things right here, which is apparently a challenge as we've seen throughout this series, they should be able to get themselves 11.
Gaze with the Mag 7. We've seen him try the Nova earlier on. Shotgun enthusiast. Nice shot. Nice Salmon pushing in to deal with Bartak. That gives him a AK to use. Unfortunately, no one on the team has Kevlar, so he'll probably just keep it for himself on 100 health. Toby will now work his way through. That's information on the first. There is a rotator coming in through CT and through connector, so they do need to be careful. But Nine's dealing with it all, and once again, looking superb. We've played 21 rounds, and he's got 26 kills. Pretty crazy. Kaze rotates in the same position that he was in with the Nova earlier, but this time does get a kill with the Mag 7, so that's actually worth it money-wise. There's a world in which he can afford the AWP now.
So here we are. Oh, right at the tail end. Kaze spotted him out. Knows what's up. Gets the headshot. Well played. Well bagged. You know, not jumping the gun too early. He's still got this Mag 7. Money making machine. He knows what's up. Sense of timing, pretty good. He just can't shoot, bro. God damn it.
Shot too soon. He like jiggled back behind the wall. If he didn't, he would have hit the shot.
SMH, as they say. But here we go. This is do or die for Rare Atom.
That did mean a lot, as you can see. That one Mag 7 kill was enough to afford an AWP and a bit of util as well, even Kevlar. But look at this. They want to try and take matters into their own hands, and they've got multiple players here, and somehow actually get away with a disadvantage off the back of that. That is not what I expected. They did so much damage. They were up so fast as well. They'd got them pinned into the cubby, but good reactions from the Huns to hit those headshots close range. 9 gets one, Bartak gets one, Cobra gets one. Z8Z might be able to get a freebie here, though. That's a pretty big freebie, too. That's a bomb on the ground. Leaves Vekel last alive on the recovery from Kaze. Made that a possibility.
Vekel, can he clutch up here? Moving into the Lion's Den. Dodgy fight here for the first, but they will, yeah, back off into each other. Well played there, of course, to just bait things into the AWP. So here we are, 11-11. Rare Atom on the precipice. The Huns also on that very same precipice. Comes all the way down to the final whistle here, and the buy is decent for the Huns. It's actually a little shaky, slightly, for Rare Atom if we are to pick hairs. So we'll see. Have the Huns got anything left up their sleeve?
Charking wanted to take matters into his own hands here. That's a big scalp to take as well. 9 down. Oh, Vekel knows he needs this trade, but he's having to drop down, and he actually doesn't expect Charking to be still going forward, and manages to readjust his crosshair in the nick of time, and now Summer is so stuck in water. Charking seemed to just completely have blood rush to his head there and say, okay, well, I can't get away. I'm just going to peek immediately, and it just leaves Summer on an island. And it's not a summery island. It's a wintry one.
Yeah, not very nice experience there, I think, in general. The push felt good, but as you say, overcommitted, don't quite know what to do with their newfound success, and it has fallen apart brick by brick here. Just rubble remaining as Kaze has to potentially survive, but then do you maybe want to try and give it a little look in, you know, and see what you come away with? I think you keep this AWP into the next, though, don't you? Is really the logical play rather than the dreamers kind of play. But
yeah,
the Huns maybe
just
snatching that one slightly.
I think he's trying to gauge where to save, right? Because, like...
Yes, very true.
He knows he's going to get hunted by a couple of players. It's the last one of the entire game. And coming up. Regulation, at least. So, yeah, it's maybe a more unlikely place to save would be the last place they look. Yeah, he's okay.
Okie dokie. What is the response going to look like? It's an AWP surrounded by MP9s. A severe lack of utility, but a lot of heart in this one for Rare Atom. Potentially an explosive play comes to mind with all these SMGs. Maybe a bit more of a stack kind of move, but it seems they are just going to keep things conventional. I think the Huns, that's maybe what they want. Have they kept good track of the economy here? Do they know that it is likely to be a weaker buy? I would say that likelihood is pretty high that they've got a read of the situation here.
Oh, only a jiggle from Child King, but caught by 9 again. 28 and 14 in regulation. You know, it's been a special game when you get near 30 in MR12 reg in the modern day of Counter-Strike. Look at the rest of the buy, mate. It's not filling me with much confidence. Huns could be about to get another 13-11 over Rare Atom. Previous one was on LAN and Mongolia. This one could be online, but they'll both mean a lot to them.
Salmon CZ'd up. The only line of defense on this B bomb site. Just hidden away at the pillar. Slowly but surely they will creep their way in. He does not know where to look. Does not know what timing will betray him. His head has rolled. Summer trying to move in quick to catch them. But it does not pan out. Kaze and Z8Z, the coach, who may be coming into it this morning, thought he was going to be the only stand-in, but there was, unfortunately, more bad news to come for the lineup. Kaze catches 9. The MP9 can't do anything at range, of course, though. So it is just the AWPer. They know where he's at. He's going to get his hands onto a kit, but that's really